Hi guys, welcome back to Style with Substance and welcome to a video all about my microblading experience. I've wanted to film one of these videos for ages, but I obviously had to go and get it done first. If you want to hear about my experience getting my eyebrows microbladed as a woman of colour, then please keep watching. As you guys will know if you follow me on Snapchat or Instagram stories particularly, and if you don't, you know where the link's going to be. I think it was a couple of weeks ago now, yep. I went to get my eyebrows microbladed. Now, this decision was not taken lightly. I am somebody who takes pride, I like to think anyway, in doing my eyebrows and in making sure that they look great. Because I think the eyebrows really frame the face and really make all the difference as far as how the rest of your makeup looks and how your face looks. So it's not something that I did on a whim. It's definitely something that I thought long and hard about, did a lot of research and watched a lot of videos before I went ahead and kind of bit the bullet. If you guys probably have seen any of my makeup sort of videos, I have little to no eyebrows, basically. So I have the hairs there, which is good, but the hairs are very fair, so they don't really show up that much on my face, and they're very fine as well, as is the rest of my hair. So this is something I've definitely considered for a while, but traditionally, like sort of normal tattooing, actually like a picture there, didn't really look that appealing. So when microblading came about, I was really interested. So the whole concept of microblading, for those that are kind of new to this whole concept, is it is similar to a brow tattoo, but what they do is they get a blade, put ink on it, and they make brow hair like strokes over your natural brows and in between your natural brows, create a more of a 3D and more realistic effect of a brow, and they look like your actual brows a little bit more than just a sort of thick or like strip of tattoo or ink would look. So I watched loads of videos and followed loads of Instagram accounts of people that were doing it, but it wasn't until maybe a month ago that I was like, I seriously want to do this because I'm tired of waking up in the morning and having no brows. And half of the time, brows is the reason why I put on makeup, because I just want to look not like a boiled egg when I wake up. I did a Google search and I wanted to find microblading artists in my area, so I went with the first page of results. I just typed in microblading London, and a few people came up, went onto their websites and went onto the gallery. The gallery was the first thing I looked at because for me a picture tells 1,000 words. So I wanted to see pictures or examples of black women just like me who had got theirs done, the kind of shapes they went for, what the kind of ink looked like, etc. I came across a lady called Camille. So I think her sort of company, or she goes by Camille Beauty or Microblading London on Instagram. I'll link all her details below and the salon name as well. Basically, I loved the pictures that I saw in her gallery because on the black women that I saw she had done, and I'll show you some examples here and here, the brows just look really natural and they just look like an extension of their actual brow. So one thing to bear in mind, however, is the pictures that you see on people's galleries are pictures right before the treatment and right after the treatment. However, how your brows heal is going to look completely different. So as much as you might be really pleased with the before and after pictures, always do bear in mind that everybody's brows heal differently and therefore they won't necessarily look like that potentially 4 weeks on, depending on your skin type, but more on that later. So I contacted her and said, look, I'm really interested in getting this done. I would really love for you to do it. What are your prices, basically? So she quoted me £250, and she said that she could do the consultation and the actual procedure in the same day. For those that are new to microblading, basically you go for a consultation where you have a skin test just to make sure you're not going to react badly to the ink. You kind of talk about the kind of shape that you want and the kind of look that you're going for. You can take pictures along for like an example, and they'll basically just talk you through what will happen before, after, during, etc. So I decided to do it in one go. I would personally recommend that you do your consultation and your actual procedure in 2 separate visits, but I really just wanted to get it done then and there. So I wouldn't recommend doing it my way because if you react badly to the ink, which a lot of people don't, I don't think, it could be a little bit disastrous. But she agreed, she was happy to do it all in one sitting. So she told me that 24 hours before the appointment, 24 to 48 hours, don't have any caffeine, don't drink copious amounts of alcohol, and don't have a really heavy meal, because basically all of those things enlarge the blood vessels and can make you prone to a lot more bleeding. So if you've got lots of caffeine or alcohol running through your system, or if your body's trying to digest loads of food, you're going to have your blood vessels like really just like pumping loads of blood, and basically you just bleed more. The annoying thing was that I had my leaving drinks the night before my procedure, which I didn't really think through, and the morning after that, obviously I was hungover, so I had a big breakfast to kind of combat that. And then I had a can of Coke as well because I was hangover. So I did all the wrong things, but luckily enough, I wasn't bleeding any heavily than I would have normally. So I kind of got off scot-free slightly there. But do not drink 24 hours before your appointment. Do not have any caffeine and do not eat a heavy meal. So I booked my appointment in. I had a half day at work. I went to the salon. So the actual salon is called Pierre Haute Coiffure. It's 59 Chiltern Street in Marylebone. I think the nearest station is like Knightsbridge. No, Baker Street I think is the nearest station, and it's a short walk from there. So I'll leave the address, full address, in the description box below. So I went there. She takes cash only. For some reason you could do like a transfer, just because she's kind of like a separate beauty therapist. So there's where she does it is a salon, but she has like a room at the bottom of the salon where she does all her treatments. The whole appointment basically lasted about 2 to 3 hours. So we did the consultation in the first 30 minutes where she explains what the procedure will be like, what the healing process will be like based on your skin type. She goes through the kind of shape to draw your brows in. She drew the shape, and then I kind of told her where to modify it essentially. So after that, filled in the paperwork, and also she explained to me that because I have oily skin, the way in which the brows would heal would be more of a blended effect. So you'd see my hair popping through, but it would kind of look like more like a dye, essentially, like hair dye around that area. It's only if you have drier skin that you still see the strokes, like after the treatment. So straight after I'd had the treatment done, you could see where she'd made the strokes, and it looked quite cool, but very thick because I wasn't used to it. But now that they've healed, you can kind of see, and I'll include some cutaways of what they look like. You can kind of see how blended they are, so it kind of just looks like some dye, just to make my hairs actually appear a bit darker, which is actually what I wanted. So that's worked out well. So we did the consultation, that was fine. We worked on the shape of the brows. She kind of like measured where they should go to, both sides, just so they were symmetrical, drew them, and then picked the dye. So she picked the darkest dye for me, just because obviously my skin tone, it was like a dark brown. And then started drawing the strokes in. Now pain-wise, most microblading people should really use numbing cream, I would say, especially if you don't know what your pain threshold is kind of like. So she put the numbing cream on, waited for it for a little bit, and then just started to make the strokes. And once the numbing cream has set in, it kind of just feels like a really sharp pencil scratching over you, like you can't really feel the blade going in. And now apparently the skin has like lots of different layers, so microblading only goes through the first layer of skin, so while there is a little bit of bleeding, it's not going all the way in. So yeah, it doesn't really hurt that much. There were certain areas that are a bit more sensitive than others, particularly in the middle of my brow, so like here, potentially where I have more bone, I'm not sure, but there were certain areas where I did wince a little bit like that. But all in all, it just felt like somebody was slightly scratching on my brows. Will depend on how you take pain or what your tolerance for pain is, but mine is, I'd say it was all right. I don't know. I've never really experienced childbirth or anything like that, so I couldn't really say. She finished, she put some like Vaseline-like solution on it, and I'm pretty sure it was this, which is the Feel Good Quality Care Cream. So it's like a Vaseline petroleum jelly-like substance on the brows, just so that they would heal and be protected when they're healing. So then she said to me that for the next 24 hours I'm supposed to take a cotton bud and put it in either filtered or bottled water and just dab lightly on the brows once every hour for 24 hours. I didn't necessarily do that because I went to the theatre straight after, and it was just I did all the wrong things basically, but I still think that my brows have kind of come out as I wanted them to. But you just are supposed to dab a little bit of water onto them just to kind of make sure they're healing okay and then not getting infected or anything like that. Then after 24 hours for the next week to 10 days, depending on how they're healing, what you want to do is use this care cream and a cotton bud and basically dab away at your brows in this cream just to help with the healing process. This kind of prevents the scars or the scabs from falling off too soon and the ink not setting in, because that's what happens basically. That's why they tell you when you're getting your brows microbladed, do not pick your scabs, because the ink will fall away with the scabs. If you let your scabs kind of fall away naturally, the ink will set into your skin as it's supposed to, which will kind of give you the appearance of the darker sort of hair-like strokes. So she said to use that a week to 10 days after and then see how I go. She said I'll really get to see what my brows actually look like within 3 to 4 weeks. So what a lot of people find is that once those strokes, or the really pronounced like 3D looking strokes, fall away, the scabs fall away, everyone's a bit panicked and they're like, oh my god, I need a touch up. But give it another couple of weeks, you might find that you actually don't need a touch up and you're actually really happy with the brows that you have. I'm happy with mine now, and that was like 2 weeks ago, so we'll see what happens in 3 to 4 weeks. But I don't know if I will go for a touch up, because I didn't want them like hugely dark or hugely thick. I just wanted them to be a bit more noticeable. That was my experience. So as I mentioned, she charged £250. Always make sure that the person doing it has some sort of qualification or are registered or whatever it is that certifies that they are, you know, a trained professional. And she had all her certificates up on the wall and on the website and stuff. Make sure you check out their body of work and see that they have done great work on people of a similar skin tone to you. And also make sure you pay attention to the instructions that they give you for pre and post your appointment. So I wanted to talk to you guys all about what you're supposed to do beforehand and what the aftercare is like, just so you know what to do. What I'll do is I'll insert some clips of my brows a few days after the appointment, like for the first week anyway. I took my picture of my brows every day, so you can kind of see how they change and they go from really pronounced to kind of really just like natural looking, which is what I like. So obviously I'm wearing a lot of product because I'm made up filming today, but generally they do just look really natural and I'm really happy with how they came out. If I were to do anything differently, I would have probably got them a little bit thinner so that they kind of fit with the actual thickness of my brows, but I'm happy to kind of continue to perfect them with makeup. But now if I wake up and I'm not going to be wearing makeup throughout the day, I don't need to. So yeah, that is my honest microblading experience. If you have oily skin, probably a good one for reference, because it's likely that our brows will heal in the same way. If you have dry skin, you'll probably see more of the pronounced strokes, they say, but everybody's skin takes to things differently. So definitely go for a consultation and make sure that you find out what they're going to look like before you commit yourself to the treatment. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. I wanted to film it as well, but I wasn't sure how I'd be dealing with the pain and didn't want to get myself on camera crying or anything like that. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments box below and I'll try to answer as many of them as possible. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe if you're new. I post 3 videos a week on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Sunday. And if you are an oldie but a goodie, then click on the bell button so that you are notified whenever I post a new video. Otherwise, do come follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I will link my handles down below and I will see you in my next video. Bye!